Don't blink, it's your boy Yank. Welcome to our show. Because we hope that having a wonderful day. This is part two of the new job. I'm so sorry I had to stop because I was waiting for this run to end because we're having a new high school. I want to film it to do the video, but I was like, let's wait. And of course, when I start to make videos, there it is. So super excited about the job. Like I said, I'm a bit doubtful, but at the same time, it's normal. See, that safety net for the job was kind of enabling me to not. It's so weird because the mentality of the agency, I thought I didn't have it, but I kind of have it. So it's a case of I fuck. It's a case of you're getting transferred so much that you don't really care about the company. But after that, I think it's quite normal. I think after getting that attached to my last job, having a literal second family that I loved, I think I was afraid of getting. I think I was afraid. Yeah. I think I was afraid of putting myself back in the field. Yeah, getting myself attached to people again. And even then, for the people, of course. And don't get me wrong, I love the people, right? But that's not the only thing. You work for the same company for 7 years, 8 years. 8 years with the agency. You work for the same company for so long, and then you feel like it's a second home, you feel like it's a second family, and then the company closed. And it's nuts because I was told like a month before that the company was going to close. I was told a month before, and I was like, oh shit, But it's like oh my god, I'm going to say something that's very disgusting. It's like death. You don't really expect death until it happened, So then when the company closed, I was like, oh my god, but I knew the company was going to close. So why was I so surprised, It's kind of like a weird thing, but at the same time, this is how your mind reacts. This is the signal that your mind is receiving, and it's grief. It's, it's the 5 stages of grief, to be honest. Just to give you an example, it's a stupid example, but when I lost my job, we lost the company. Well, it closed, but still, you know what I mean? In March 2024, and I thought I was going to be like doing content after content after content. And if I'm being completely honest, for the first month, at least a month, I was sad. I didn't make that much content. I was like, what is going on? I didn't even realize that I was grieving over losing this job. So of course, the next job that you can have is, for example, right? You see this in the dating world a lot. It's a rebound. It's a rebound, right? So the next job that I was gonna have was gonna be a rebound. And then I went to the agency, and the agency was actually pretty nice. I was like, you know what? It's not the perfect situation, but it's not that bad, And I got me a couple of jobs, and then I switched because I thought that the rep that I had wasn't fighting hard enough to get me jobs. So I switched for somebody that I saw was clearly more money oriented. Why is that important? Because the way they work is they make a percentage of my cash. This person was also not the nicest person, and not the most humane person, not the most understanding. So what I didn't think about is he doesn't care if I work or somebody else's work. For him, it's still the same salary, And that's kind of sad. Like, for example, the last job that I had with the agency, it was a great job. There were 8 people. It was a great job. And then somebody starts stealing. And the problem with that was the rep knew. But he was like, you're not going to lose your job over that. You're working for the agency. And then the boss was like, hey, I know that you guys are stealing because it's the only person in that department was us. I want to know who it is. Otherwise, everybody's getting fired. And the person, I think the rep was thinking that the person was going to do the right thing. He didn't do it, so we all lost a job, So, and it's a shame. It's a shame because I could have said who it was, because it's pretty obvious. But at the same time, first of all, you don't know the reality of this guy, right? I personally, I think that he was stealing because he had a problem. He was stealing salt shaker, Like, you have a problem. You have a legit problem, bro. But who am I to judge, right? And the reality of it was, I should have saved my job. I should have snitched. But after that, it was one person out of 8, right, that was stealing. I still have to work with the same 6 co-worker, and they're gonna see me as this guy who got one of their friend fired, right? And I know this doesn't make any sense, but this is the mentality of the agency. This didn't work, I'm gonna go somewhere else, right? But I'm like, no, that was a good job, guys. That was a good job. We were working for Sobeys. And the worst thing, what breaks my heart is Sobeys was, so it's a middleman. So the company that gives food will give food to Sobeys, and Sobeys will give them to every single one of their grocery store. So it is a middleman. Yeah, it's a middleman. And sometimes the box was breaking, right? Because they were damaged. Something happened, and while they were transporting it, something happened, and they would literally put the food that was not good enough to buy. They would literally put the food that was too damaged to buy for free in a cafeteria. So you're stealing from somebody that gives you food. Blew my mind. And of course, it wasn't great food. For example, there's one time where I don't remember how you call it. But it was a it's it's bacon surrounding a chicken breast. So I don't know what you call it. And there's like a toothpick to put them together. We're getting for that for free. 1 week we had this is insane. We had clams for free. There wasn't a lot of them, but we had some. And clams are expensive. Clams are legit expensive. And the guy didn't want us to eat it because he said it's gonna stink. So I took some and said, I'm gonna eat outside, I don't care. You know, it was a good job, you know. Now the job that I'm gonna have right now is also a good job. Because it's a company that's been doing their proof and that exists for a while, gonna be existing for a while. There's a lot of that company around the world. I don't know if in Canada, mostly Canada, right? There's one close to my mom. There's one close to my mom. There's one close to my, yeah, it's where I'm gonna work. I don't know if there's a third one, but I know there's G's too, right? So this is kind of cool. It's a good company. I'm feeling nervous because again, there's no safety net, and it's time to do the proof. As a worker, am I a good worker? I think I'm okay. I'm an okay worker. However, I rely a lot on my personal skills. For example, I'll make sure that people like me. And if people like me, sometimes I'll keep the job, you know. So yeah, so nervous, but this is a really good news. This is a really, really good news, and I'm happy. The reason why I'm a bit nervous, of course, I'm a bit nervous because of a couple things. First of all, in the asking for help, well, not asking for help. I'm sorry. In the ads that they did for the employment, there was not my job. So I don't know how stable it is. For example, they were looking for a fruit and vegetable guy. They were looking for a butcher, an apprentice butcher. They were looking for a packaging guy. So for example, you go to the cashier. It's a grocery store. You go for the cash, right? And you pay for your things, and there's a guy or a girl, of course, that puts the things in the bag for you to leave, right? So that's what I applied for. They gave me a job that was not there, so I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know that you needed that, but I'm down. Now, why am I worried? I'm worried about the shift. The shift is not great. The shift is 8 from the PM to the 2. Now this is amazing because I can go with my bike, and it's really cool because I did the math. It's around 35 minutes to 50. I'm not gonna. Should I tell you? Okay. Let's just say you guys know when I go and get KFC. I did a lot last week. Well, 2 weeks ago. Well, it is in the same shopping center. Yeah. So yeah, it's actually pretty close. 35 minutes on there's no traffic day, and 50 minutes when I am back. But yeah, it's a good place. Now the 2 a.m. because I finished at 2 a.m. doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because I have the bike. If it's raining, I can't take the bike, so I'm gonna have to take a Uber or a taxi, which is kind of productive for what I'm doing for work, right? Because I'm working for money. Sorry to say. who knows? I might really like that job and decide to really imply myself in it. But the dream is still to make content, right? It's also in winter. I don't know what I'm gonna do in winter. I told my father this morning. It's like, the fuck you gonna do for winter? The fuck you gonna do for winter? And I told him, I told him the truth. I told him the truth. I said, I'm not sure about the winter, but first of all, let's get the job. Because you see, my mom is more so like, she'll need a clear path. She'll need a clear path, like if it doesn't work, plan A or plan B. My father is a bit more, my father is a bit more in the moment. Don't plan with him, right? It's in the moment. So I'm like, first of all, let's get the job, and then we'll see. He said, okay, so if you get the job, what's gonna happen? I said, well, if I get the job, they didn't like me. Today is the 9th September, which is my first day. I still have, there's no snow until November. I have 2 months to be a good enough employee to come here to work. Because of course, if I told her the first day, listen, I can't do shit because I don't have a car. And if it's raining or snowing, I cannot come. If this is the way I start, she's not gonna be happy. Because when I say she's a manager, well, I don't even know if she's a manager because she's the one that hired me. So is she a manager? Was she a manager for a specific department? I don't know. Didn't ask a lot of questions because again, I tend to ask a lot of questions and I tend to talk a lot. So get to the minimum, which is something that's good, right? I think that if I do good for 2 months, and I say, listen, I love working here. I hope that you guys like my work. I'm always on time. I'm always doing my best. I have a little favor to ask. I'm not asking for a lot. It's gonna be raining. It's gonna be snowing. Is there a way where I can work during the day, so at least catch a bus? You know. I don't know. And she was really insistent on knowing if I had a car or I take the bus. Right? I told her I took the bus. The reason I told her I took the bus because I feel like she possibly will think that a bus is more reliable than a guy on his bike. And the craziest thing is, it takes 20 minutes to go on my last job, the 7 years one. My last job was quicker on on the bicycle than on bus. So this is kind of insane. But again, I was always last second. The number of tickets I got was crazy. So be more careful about that. Anyway, we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.